point. I've been doing this writing and broadcasting about politics for quite a lot longer than most of you guys in this room have been alive, and for at least as long as many of the members of Parliament who are here have been members of Parliament, or those who packed into the chamber for Prime Minister's questions just a short while ago. I started here, it was in 1980, as a young hack for the Press Association News Agency, when Margaret Thatcher was a green, new, young Prime Minister. And during my time at the Independent newspaper a few years later on, the Speaker of the House of Commons, John Bercow, whose portrait adorns the wall in the next room, well, at that time, he was a fiery young leader of the Federation of Conservative Students. I remember being there as a reporter for the Indy, the FCS conference, and John Bercow, among other things, was leading a campaign to rename Heathrow Airport, which the FCS decided was far too soft and woolly a name. They wanted it called Thatcher Row, and that was one of the highlights of an interesting weekend. Now, a lot's changed since that time, including the House of Commons itself. There are many more women in the chamber of the House of Commons, which has to be a good thing. Not enough, but there are more women, and there are at least more members of Parliament who are members of ethnic minority and underrepresented communities. In the last election in May, just over 40 members came from ethnic minority communities. That's about a dozen up on the figure for 2005, and about a dozen up at that point from the figure for the previous election. When I started doing this thing during the 80s, the mid-80s at the Indy, you could fit all the ethnic minority MPs into a taxi, and before that, not long before that, a tandem would have done the job. Before that, you'd have needed a search party